Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about my list of all the Doctor Who finales, ranked best to least. And yeah, I thought about doing a classic series, but I feel like that video would go on forever. Just know if I did, probably the best finale would be the War Games, and the worst finale would be the Twin Dilemma. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. So season one ended with the parting of the ways. This is a really great finale. The Daleks, I think, are like at the all-time most threatening. Christopher Eccleston does a great performance in this. So does Billy Piper. The whole Bad Wolf thing, the way they finish that arc off is really interesting and something you don't see coming. And of course, his regeneration is very emotional. So yeah, that's a great finale to a great first season. Moving on to season two, we have Doomsday. So this features the epic battle between the Daleks and the Cybermen, and we also get a lot of ways to wrap up the Torchwood arc, as well as the Jackie and Pete Tyler thing, which I think is cute. And of course, it ends with Rose getting trapped in a parallel universe, which is very emotional. Even though I'm not really a big fan of Rose, I still thought the ending was good anyway. And I kind of wish they stuck with that because having her with a little clone doctor at the end of season four kind of ruins it, the emotional impact. But anyway, moving on to season three, we have Last of the Time Lords. This is getting a B. Still a pretty good episode. I really like the like how Martha really steps into her own, and a lot of times we see her like having to save the day when the Doctor's not involved. Like we see this with Last of the Time Lords. We see this with the Family of Blood. A lot of stuff like this. So it shows how competent of a companion she is, even when she doesn't have the Doctor to save the day. But the thing that brings this one to a B instead of an A is the way they save the Doctor by just chanting his name, which I think is kind of dumb. But other than that, I like the whole like subtext between the Master and his wife, and like the subtle ways he's being abused. That whole stuff is really good, and the stakes are good. And of course, they kind of turned back time to make sure none of this happened, which is something Doctor Who usually does. So I'm not exactly like that upset about. Moving on to season four, we have Journey's End. This is a really good finale as well. The Daleks and the Davos are trying to destroy reality, and we like it's like the Avengers of the Doctor's companions. We have Rose, Martha, Donna, Sarah Jane, Captain Jack, Harry Jones, former Prime Minister, Wilf. Everybody is involved in this one. Jackie, Mickey. It's a really cool thing. Kind of shows like the world building Russell's been doing the past 4 seasons, and I like the way they kind of like answer the mystery of the Doctor's hand, like why that's still there. Like they don't really forget about stuff like that, and of course Donna losing her memory is very upsetting and sad, but of course that kind of gets undone in the Star Beast, so kind of loses its impact upon rewatch. Um, so yeah, but other than that, really good finale. Moving on to season five, we have The Big Bang, something I just watched recently. So this is really good. It shows Moffat's combination of high concept sci-fi stories and great emotional moments between Amy and the Doctor and Roy. And it's a very like time is a mess, and it all depends on Amy remembering the Doctor after he's been erased from existence. It's a really good episode. Like the way they resolve this, all the um, story arcs in this is really impressive. Um, yeah, just Matt Smith does a really good performance in this episode, especially he was talking to young Amy Pond. It's a great one. I really enjoyed it. Moving on to the Reading of River Song, which is the end of season six. Another episode I enjoy. This is getting a B because it is a little bit confusing. It's hard to understand, but I feel like if I really think about it, it makes sense. This is at the end of season six, where once again, time is all tipsy turvy because River didn't shoot the Doctor, and we're like all we have all of time going at once. Like Charles Dickens is in the present writing TV movies, which I think is kind of funny. and just a lot of crazy stuff is going on. And at the ending, we're like, Rivel does shoot the doctor, but now he's like, the robot version of the doctor. That's kind of cool. Um, so yeah, pretty good finale of season 6, though it is very confusing and hard to understand at some points. Okay, moving on, we have the name of the doctor, which is getting an A. I really like this one. I know some people don't, but I think this is a really good one. Fun fact, it's the first episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen, and I was so confused because so much of this episode relies on like watching the rest of the season to understand. So maybe that wasn't the best choice. But yeah, this is the one where the Great Intelligence comes back, and Clara has to step inside the Doctor's time stream to save him. So we create like hundreds of Claras, and it's a really good twist. Jenna Coleman does a great performance in this. It's nice seeing all the old Doctors via archive footage, and of course that cliffhanger where you see John Holt introduced as the War Doctor is very memorable. Okay, now moving on to season 8, we have Death in Heaven, which is getting a C. A C isn't bad. A C is like average. I like this episode, but I feel like it's kind of anticlimactic after the ending of um, Dark Waddle. I think Missy and the Cybermen are defeated a little bit too easily between Danny Pink and Ghost Brigadier. It's just kind of underwhelming. Though I do like the emotional payoff with Clara and the Danny Pink. That emotional payoff was pretty good, even if Danny Pink is a very boring character. Jenna Coleman does a really good job in this. So yeah, it's okay, but it isn't really anything to write home about. Moving on to season 9, we have Hellbent, which is one of the most hated episodes of the show, but I enjoy it. A lot of people hate it because it undoes Clara's death, and it doesn't really satisfyingly resolve the Gallifrey arc, which I could see. I get it, but that was the whole point of Heaven Sent. Was like the reason he goes on is to save Clara. So I think it's a really good conclusion. Um, Surprised we never saw Clara or Maisie Williams' character again after this. I feel like they're like building up to a spinoff or something that never happened. So I don't know. Maybe someday. Okay, moving on to season 10, we have the Doctor Falls, which is the conclusion to um, the Missy arc, Capaldi's second to last episode. So really, builds up to his regeneration. The last time we see Bill, it was a very emotionally driven episode, and it has really good special effects. Um, it's I don't know, it's fantastic. The Doctor's Peter Capaldi's performance should have won him like an Emmy for this one. He's fantastic. Well, he's great in all the episodes, but I feel like especially this one. John Sim and Michelle Gomez have such a good chemistry between like Missy and the Master, and the way Michelle Gomez chooses to be good at the end, but of course her literal self-sabotaging race prevents her from. It's a good metaphor. I like it, and of course Bill's ending is pretty bittersweet as well. Okay, moving on to Jodie's era. F, F, F. Yeah, not a big fan of these finales. The Battle of Ranskoff Kolos is very bland, doesn't really tie into the rest of the season that well, and has no consequences for anything. You'd expect something with the broad battle in the title to like be interesting, but it isn't. Like nothing happens. The Timeless Children, very clunky pacing rise, um, and the whole like actually being the most important Time Lord in the universe thing, I don't really like because I prefer like when the Doctor is just some chick or some dude, like it kind of makes them more relatable. But knowing that they're like the first Time Lord who could regenerate ever, and they're not really a Time Lord from another planet, that whole thing, it kind of ruins the Doctor's character for me. So, not a big fan of that. Also, the way it was like expositioned was very awkward too, with like the master giving a PowerPoint presentation, as one of the YouTubers I watched said. Okay, moving on to the Vanquishers. Again, very clunky paced. Um, just like most of Flux, it makes no sense when you think about it for more than 5 seconds. It just the all of Flux reads like a really bad fever dream because none of it like is coherent at all. They have way too many characters for a 6-part episode, and yeah, it's just really weird. Um, so yeah, at least we have Kate Stewart. Moving on to the newest finale, Empire of Death. This is getting a D. I didn't really enjoy this that much. I liked part one a lot. The Legend of Ruby Sunday. It built up to Sutek coming back, and and very epic in scope. But then this one kind of falls flat. Problem with having a big godlike villain is they have to have a really clever way of defeating him, but they don't. They just tie him in a rope and then put him through the time vortex because he killed everybody. He brought death to everybody, and as we all know, bringing death to death equals life or something stupid like that. Makes no sense. Um, Also, like the whole Ruby's mom thing. While I like that Ruby's mom is just some normal lady, um, it doesn't really add up much when you think about all the foreshadowing. Because why would Sutek be so interested in who Ruby's mom is if Ruby's mom is just some normal lady? It doesn't make sense. It's so weird. It's so confusing. I don't like it. So yeah, that's all 14 of the Marlon series finales. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. I'm talking about more Matt Smith episodes, and of course, William Hartnell episodes, soon to be Patrick Troughton episodes. So subscribe below for any of that. Holding you guys off on Doctor Who content until Christmas. And until next time, peace.